Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Under Eagle Mountain Making Podcast. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel where I chat about all of the things that I enjoy doing and making, all my creative pursuits. Welcome if you've never been here before, and welcome back if you have. And thank you for all those people that subscribe, and particularly people that comment. It's really nice hearing from you all and sort of chatting backwards and forth. You know, you tell me that I've given you ideas or inspiration, and you suggest things back to me, which then you know, gives me ideas and inspires me, and it's really nice to start to have that sort of two-way relationship, and it's not just me sat in a room by myself talking to the camera, which is sometimes a little bit odd. Thank you particularly to all those people that have joined in the CAL. Lots of people have messaged me and said that, you know, that they're planning to join in the patchwork knit along, and they're waiting for yarn, or they're just trying to decide a pattern, or they're finishing up the project that they're on. And there's still loads of time. We've got till the end of autumn, so right till the 30th of November. And as I've said before, it doesn't have to be a finished object. It's a sort of progress CAL, or just a joining in CAL, so you can either finish a whip up or start something, but without the sort of time pressure of a deadline for finishing it. I decided that I would draw a prize at the end of each month, largely because I'd dyed up 4 sock sets, and I wanted to keep one of them for myself, so that left 3. So, you know, 3 sock sets, 3 months, it seemed like the right thing to do, and it kind of keeps momentum going maybe. So at the end of September, well, on the 1st of October actually, I did draw the first prize winner. There were 6 people that had posted to their grid using the hashtag at that point. So all of their names went in a little bowl, or in a cup I think, and I sort of jiggled it around and pulled one out, and the winner was Harriet from Harriet Wildwood Stitches. She's got an account on Instagram under that name, and she makes project bags, and they're really beautiful. So she won the yarn bowl that my husband made, and she chose the kind of bundle dyed sock skein. So it was a goldenrod base, the dye, and then it had onion skins that gave a sort of orangey pop of colour on it, and the green walnut husks that came like a really dark brown splodge on it as well. And I think that had a dark brown skein, 20 gram skein for the cuffs and toes or whatever. So that went in the post. I've not yet heard. I'm hoping it has arrived or will arrive soon, and I hope that skein knits up all right. I've not dyed using that particular type of bundle dye method before, so I've no idea what it'll look like, but hopefully nice. Hopefully she'll knit it up and be able to send me a picture. So thank you to Harriet, and thank you to everybody else that has joined in so far. As I say, there will be 2 more draws. So if you have posted but you didn't win in the September draw, your names are just left in that cup, and I will keep adding people's names as they post. So it's not like you've had your chance and you've not won. You've still got 2 more chances. And hopefully more people are joining in. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Oh, no, that's not true. Harriet very kindly contacted me and said that would I like her to send me a project bag which could then be used as a prize, and I said yeah, because I'm sure people that know her and know her bags will know how beautiful they are, and I thought that people would be very happy to win one of those. So I will make a project bag out of the stars, like the patchwork stars that I showed you last time, and then that'll be 1 sock set, and then Harriet's bag and another sock set. So they're the 2 other prizes. That's that. Moving on. I've done quite a lot since the last, it's only a few weeks ago, but I've done quite a lot. I had a lot of things kind of in process during my last podcast, so I have finished quite a lot of things up, or almost finished them. My one very totally finished object is my dress. So last time I think it was cut out and draped over the sewing machine. Can't really show a dress, can you? I have I did take a little video of myself wearing it, which I put on Instagram. If I have not deleted that, I will put that up here. I'm quite ruthless with, I'm not one of those people that has like thousands of photos on there, or I don't use a smartphone, I use a tablet computer, but I go through and delete things really regularly. So if I've not deleted that, I will put that up here so you can see what it looks like on. It's this really lovely cotton from Merchant and Mills in a sort of orange and purple. It's quite muted, nice autumny palette. I thought, really liked it. It's not that warm, I discovered. I wore it to Yarndale, that's what I really wanted to wear it to, with this cardigan, which I did finish in time to wear. This is knit in Noro Madara, which is a wool, silk, alpaca blend, as far as I can remember, and it's really beautiful. I just love it so much. It knitted up really quickly because it was just lovely looking at all the colours coming up. It's kind of like a purpley lilac-y base, a lighter lilac, but I still think the two go together really nicely, especially because it's got like pops of orange in there too. Now this, I probably said this last time, this pattern was the Badana pattern, which is a cardigan by Rosa Pomar, or Retrosario Rosa Pomar is her Instagram, and she's a wool producer really. She's Portuguese, and she has a brick and mortar shop in Portugal, but also an online shop, and she supplies a number of other shops, like, you know, retailers, with yarn that she has spun. It's and dyed. It's Portuguese yarn, and often from rare Portuguese sheep and things. She's trying to keep sort of that industry going in Portugal and support you know, shepherds there. But she also produces patterns. This is what I'm wittering on about. And I've knitted a couple of her patterns. I knitted like a cape. I've knitted it for my daughter and for my son. It's really cute. If I can find a picture somewhere, I'll put that in too. Or I'll rummage around and try and find them in the drawers. And then this pattern, it was like a big oversized granddad cardigan, but I used like the wrong weight wool, the wrong size needles. I didn't have enough wool. I kind of knitted a size that wasn't quite recommended, you know, in terms of ease for the pattern. So the cardigan I ended up with is basically nothing like the cardigan, like the sample in the pictures. Oh, and also it was meant to have twisted rib, but I didn't. I just did normal rib. I did less ribbing. So this is pretty much finished except for buttons. I haven't put buttons on just because I don't have any. I think I want like mother of pearl or look like shell buttons. I think that would look really pretty on here, and I've just not sorted myself to get them. But I really enjoyed knitting it, and I really like the fit. It's quite cropped. It'll go with over lots of dresses. I think I'll wear it a lot. I love the colour, and it's quite soft, the yarn. But what I was saying right at the beginning of this ramble is that a cotton dress plus this yarn, which has a lot of silk in it, was not that warm. It turned out Yarndale was quite cold. It's in like an auction mart, like an old sheep auction mart, so it's open on the sides. There's, you know, it's just breeze block walls and a tin roof, and it's open on either end, so it was not cozy. And I did have a big shawl with me, and I was quite cold. So yeah, I think I might need to layer that up to wear throughout the seasons more than I thought I was going to. I hope I'm not rushing and rambling. Sorry if I am. Anyway, as I was saying, I really, really enjoyed knitting the bandana cardigan, but I kind of really wanted one that would fit the way it was meant to, like a big oversized cardigan. So as soon as I cast that off, well, not quite as soon, almost immediately, I cast on another one. I showed you last time the Sandnes Garn Poppy yarn that I had in the colourway Falling Leaf. And I think I said at the time, because I hadn't looked at it properly, that it was like an unspun. It's not. It, as soon as I started to knit up a swatch, I realised it's like a chainette yarn. So it has like, it's a cotton wool and alpaca blend, the yarn, and it has like a mesh tube, which I'm assuming is the cotton. And then I think it's got some fibre blown into it, and then fibre attached onto the outside. Bear with me one sec. Haha, right, this is what I went to get. So this is like the end. Where's the thing? So I don't know if you can see, probably can't really, vaguely. There's like can you see the tube inside? And then there's like fluffy yarn on the outside. Anyway, it's very, very light, and I think it will be quite warm, because I think it'll be a bit like an unspun yarn or like a woolen spun yarn. I think it'll trap quite a bit of air in it, but it's quite light. I mean, there's 8 balls. Like, that was all that was left of the 8th ball. I think they were 50-gram balls. I'm not doing very well this week, am I? Sorry, hang on. I've got one left over that I didn't use. I don't think it says. 50% superfine alpaca. Yeah, 50 grams. So that's a 50-gram ball. It looks quite big, but I think that's because that's how light it is. So it's 400 grams in this cardigan, which is pretty good going, because it's a big old cardi. It's just slightly damp. I've had it blocking since yesterday lunchtime, but I love it. I'll try, I'll put it on and take a little video and stick that in here. It's so beautiful. It knitted up so quickly. I mean, I did this in like maybe 12 days. Can it be that little? 2 weeks at the most. Probably not advisable to knit that much that quickly, because my hands, when I was finishing off the ribbon on the cuff yesterday, my hands were aching a bit. So I think I need to give them a rest for a few days, actually, because I think I'm getting a bit of tendinitis, which I don't want. So really, I should have taken a break, but I just was like a woman obsessed. It was so lovely watching all the colours come, and they were just so beautiful. The colours, they're all perfect. So as I said, the colourway is called Falling Leaf, and that's just exactly right. I think it's just lovely, and it's soft, and it smells woolly, and I think it's just gonna be like a dream. I'm so happy. Like, I would recommend the pattern. It was well written, the pattern. Like, it gave you information on pickup rates for picking up that long button band and everything. I found them really clear. I liked it. I was a good girl. I did the twisted rib. Well, I think I did half twisted rib, actually. So, On the right side, you knit through the back loop but purl normally, and on the wrong side, you purl through the back loop and knit normally. So I think that's half twisted rib, but that's what I did on all of it, and yeah, I think it looks really nice. I've not put the buttons on that either, but I have got some, well, I've sort of got some buttons. I think I'm going to use these buttons. They're wooden buttons, but they've got a nice bit of grain on them. I got them from Grace at Beyond Measure when I was there for the last knit night. I bought 6 because they were actually going to go on a dress that I am making. I think I've got 6 and I need 4 for the dress, I think, and I need 3 for the thing. So and I'm actually up to putting the buttons on the dress, but I want to wear the cardigan and the dress, which is, I can't show it because it's like a preview make or a test make or whatever for Tauco magazine, and their upcoming issue, which comes out on the 22nd of October. So I did show a little sneak peek over on Instagram. It's a bit like a test knit, basically. If you apply to be part of their make and share program, that's what it's called. They send you all the pictures, like the model photos that are going to be in the magazine, and then if there's one of the patterns you like, you apply to make it in advance, and if they pick you, they send you the pattern and the instructions, and you make it up in advance and send them photos, so that if there are any problems, and there was in this dress pattern, there was a piece missing from the pattern, so when they sent it to you, I kind of sent them an email saying, I don't know if this is me being dumb, but I really cannot find this piece. And they sent one back saying, no, that's because it's missing. I'm so sorry. So they just like sent an extra PDF over, which was fine. And yeah, and then it also means that they've got lots of photos to share on the like publication day. So I've done it before. I made a skirt for my daughter, and which was dead easy. And this time I was looking at it and I liked this dress, but it's got a collar and it's got a full button placket and, you know, buttons all the way down. And I just thought, that's too hard. I can't do this. I'm not going to pick one. And then I had a little word with myself and said, you know, what is the point of just making the same thing over and over again? I do make that dress. It was an Orwell, as in A-double-L, W-E-double-L, all well. That's the pattern, a box top dress hack, and I've made it lots of times and I love it, so I don't regret making it, and I'm sure I'll make other ones again. It's a really versatile pattern. You can get, I've talked about before, I won't go into it again, but you know, at some point, like I did with my knitting a few years ago, I have to start challenging myself. I have to start think, you know, don't think, no, I can't do that, so I won't try. I think I'm a bit more reluctant with sewing because once you've cut the fabric, that's it, kind of. You can make something smaller out of bits of fabric, but it's not like wool. You can just unravel and you can just use it all again as is on the whole, but fabric's harder than that. So, but anyway, I had a little word to myself. I thought, no, try, learn. So I did, and I got picked and I've started making it, and it has been very tricky. I can't decide whether I made a good decision on that or not, because I chose to do it with the leftover fabric from that purple and orange dress. The dress pattern comes in 2 lengths. It's like a short length, like knee, or a full length one. And I don't really like knee length things, and particularly the style of this dress might make it look a bit girlish. And I thought, so I wanted to make a long one, and I had the fabric to do it, but I was really nervous that I would cock it all up and then I'd have wasted that fabric that I really like. And although I do really love that orange and purple fabric, it kind of felt like it was slightly more, not disposable, but like I wouldn't be heartbroken if it did all go horribly wrong, because I've already got a dress in it that I love and will wear. And so it felt like a bonus. That's what I want to say. Like if it worked out, it would be like a bonus. And I had just enough. I had to sort of piece together some bits of fabric to make the front facings. But other than that, I had enough fabric. So, and the cotton's really nice and easy to work with because it's quite stable. So it's been a bit of a challenge. I mean, I'm talking about it and I'm not showing you any pictures, which must be really super annoying. I'll be able to show you the pictures next time. But I have done it all now except for the button, sewing on the buttons. But I don't know, I think my initial feelings that I'm not going to wear a knee-length dress were correct. So I have tried to convince my daughter that she looks, well, she does look lovely in it actually, but she's like, no, I don't like this, I don't wear this, I'm not going to wear a dress like this. So I'm going to have this spare dress, I don't know. But I'm thinking of it as like a practice, like a toile, and then I think I will be brave and make a longer version at some point, now that I realise I can sort of do a collar with a lot of unpicking and quite a bit of cursing, but I did get there. Anyway, I've kind of gone on a 5-minute ramble about something that I said I wasn't going to talk about. So, sorry. My next almost finished object I've made, again, I showed you the fabric last time and talked about my intention to do it, is a bramble skirt. This is a pattern by Lorna at the Thread and Yarn. Basically, it's a really easy skirt. Like, you don't really need a pattern if you're a confident sewer, but if you've not sewn something, or you're a beginner, or like me, you just thought, I'm just going to do it because somebody's telling me what to do, and that's easier than having to think, you know, in terms of measurements and stuff. So I kind of watched her tutorial to just get information on the measurements and the proportions and stuff like that, and then I just kind of went off and did it myself. It's not 100% finished because it doesn't have the elastic in the waist. I ordered it ages ago. I had a piece that I knew I had, and then my daughter decided to make herself a skirt, and she took the elastic to put in her waistband, which is fine, you know, like, good on her for making a skirt all by herself from scratch. But I then ordered more elastic for me. I ordered it ages ago. I got in contact with them last week and said, why has it not come? And it turned out it got lost in the post, so they have sent me some more. I'm really hoping it comes today because I'm going away tomorrow. Today's Tuesday the 8th of October, I think is the day, and I'm going away tomorrow until Sunday to see some family, and I'd really like to take this outfit with me because I think it goes really nicely with the cardigan. It's got all the same sort of colours in there. I think if I wear a darkish t-shirt I won't look too pale. So yeah, I'd just like it to come. This is such lovely fabric. It's a Liberty fabric. It's from a range, I think it was called Odyssey, which was kind of had like a Greek mythology inspiration. This one was called Artemis. She was the goddess of the hunt, so it's got, you know, forests and birds and deer, and I really like it, so I'm very pleased with that. So I've got 2 cardigans that need buttons, I've got a skirt that needs elastic, but yeah, I finished up lots of stuff. The last thing I finished is this. I'm trying to, look how the colour, there you go, that's the colour it is. This, I don't think I showed this last time, I've shown it on my Instagram. This is wool from Laxton's Mill, which is in Yorkshire. It's not very far from where we live, and not all of their wool is British, and it's not all spun in Britain, but a lot of it is, and all of this particular range is. It's called Wool Trace, and it's a DK, and you can get it in already dyed colours, or you can get it from their undyed shop, and it comes with, I bought some at Yarndale that's already dyed, so I'll show you that in a minute. It comes with like a QR code that, if you're, you know, down with these sort of things, which I am not, you could scan and it'll tell you where it's from and the breed and stuff like that. But this, just when it came in the packet, it had it written on it. It said 100% Romney. So it's 100% Romney wool that I dyed initially with birch bark, and it came out a very, very beautiful pale pink. I really liked it, and I was thinking, yes, I'm going to knit myself a jumper. And then I was kind of like snuggling like this, and my daughter just said, you're going to look naked. That is exactly like it is skin coloured. From a distance, no, you're just going to look like a weird lumpy naked woman. I was like, oh, right, thanks. But I see your point. It was very kind of skin coloured. So I decided that I had to do something about it. I was kind of going for this. I'm all fingers and thumbs today. I'm really sorry. This kind of paler colour, which I'm sort of, it's like a pinky orange, really. It's like, in my brain I'm thinking of it as like a rose gold, and that's what I was heading for. So I made quite a weak, what I thought was quite a weak onion skin bath, and I remordanted the wool, and then I put it in that, but immediately it went like a really golden yellow. So it was obviously stronger than I thought. I probably should have done a test, like snipped a bit off and tested it, but I didn't. I just dunked in all 5 skeins, and it went really, really, really yellow. Not an unpleasant colour, like an onion skin colour. It was quite nice, but it was just a little bit too yellow. So I just toned it down a little bit by sticking it in the leftover walnut dye. So I showed the wool for the sock skeins, and there was a really dark brown mini skein, and then a lighter brown 100-gram skein that I'd dyed using green walnuts, and I kind of just had the pan still left on the side that I'd not done anything in. So I heated that up and dunked the this yarn in, and it kind of just knocked it back a little bit. That's the right colour there. So it's still quite, it's more orangey yellow than orangey pink, which is what I was going for, but I do quite like it. I do think it will go with things that, for example, I've got 5 skeins, 500 grams. I think it's 225 grams. Yeah, 225 meters, sorry. So enough to do a lot with. I can knit a jumper or something. Not decided, but that is a finished, well, it's sort of a finished, it's a finished yarn, but that yarn's got to become something. Talking a lot, very fast, sorry. So I don't really have any whips to show because I finished lots of things up. The only thing that I have kind of actively on the go is my heirloom quilt cardigan, and I was hoping to have the sleeves knitted on that by now. Again, I showed on Instagram I'd knitted nearly all of one sleeve. I had like an inch left to go before the ribbon, and I was looking at it thinking, I think that looks a bit skinny, and I tried it on and it did fit. I mean, it was not as skinny as this. This is a Felix sweater by Savoury Knits. I'm pretty sure you all know this pattern, is that you can get it in a sweater and a cardigan. It's a raglan, and the raglans are made by Yarn Overs to make this lace pattern. It's just knit in like pine green Let Lopey. The sun's just come out, so kind of shows it off quite nicely at the minute. Why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, the sleeve. So it was not as fitted as this sleeve. There was a bit more space, but because the body of the cardigan is so wide, so oversized, although it's cropped, it's really kind of generous, and the ease of the body, a slim sleeve just kind of looked a bit naff, and there was like a really big fold here. So I don't know. Basically I need to rip it back and undo the side seam, maybe take like another inch. But I haven't done that yet. One, because I was a bit fed up. Like, oh, everything with this cardigan has been like a few steps forward and a few steps back, and this and that and this and that. And so I was a bit fed up about that. But also, I think I had enough yarn to knit the sleeve minus the ribbing. Like each sleeve was going to be a different colour, but I think if I make it wider, I might not. So then am I going to like colour block the sleeve? Am I going to do that? I don't want to buy more yarn. So all of that just kind of made me think, I can't be bothered. And I shoved it to one side and I knitted the whole of that cardigan instead. But I've promised myself that when I come back from my family's, my auntie's house, I'm going to give my hands a little rest, I think. And then when I come back, I will start that, and I'll knit 2 sleeves before I start another project. And I do have lots of projects that I want to start, because when I went to Yarndale I did buy some wool. I'm going to show it because a lot of people had kind of messaged me and said, please show us what you got. So I'm going to. I feel a bit weird about it in a way because I don't want to be like all braggy, like, look at me, look how much yarn I've bought. So I hope it doesn't come across like that. When I was thinking about it, I was kind of thinking, you know, well, I'll say this and I'll say that. I'd like to kind of justify, but maybe I don't need to justify it. It's my money. I'm able to spend it without kind of depriving the family of anything else. And, you know, it's not a horrible, sinful hobby, is it, knitting? So, and I guess you guys all feel the same way because you're here watching a knitting podcast. So, yeah, I'm just going to say I bought it and I love it and I'm happy. And let's move on. So the first is some Laxton's DK wool trace. So it is the same as that yarn that I've just showed you, but this I dyed up. And actually it's interesting, it might not be exactly the same, it might be a different yarn, like a different sheep, different fibre content is what I'm trying to say. There's the QR code. So if I can, I have no idea how to scan a QR code. If I can figure that out, I will do that so I could find out what it is. You can see it's thinner. Now that's possibly because when you naturally dye stuff, it goes in and out of water a lot. So that is it, as like as bloomed as it's ever going to be. Whereas when this is knitted up, it was probably, I think acid dyeing is done cold. I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know. I might be totally making that up. But quite often, you know, you put when you finished it and you block it, the yarn blooms, doesn't it? Whereas it doesn't do that with naturally dyed yarn because it's already done it all, because it's been in and out of water so much. So that might account for why it looks slightly thicker, or it might just be the fibre content is different. As I said, that is Romney. This just says 100% British wool, spun in Yorkshire. So I like that. That is very close to home. And looking at this, my husband did say, you know, I'd only got a jumper in that colour. And yeah, I guess I do. Very similar. This is a bit more shiny. As I said, this is Let Lopey. This is a bit shinier and it's a bit softer. I think I'm going to make a sort of t-shirty type jumper. Right at the beginning of the year, I had written a list of the sorts of things that I would like to make this year, and one of them had said basics. So I've knitted a few t-shirts, but I think I'd like a few long sleeved t-shirts, base layers. I have some silk and merino like thermal t-shirts. I've got 2 or 3 of them that I wear a lot when it's cold, but I thought I'd quite like to knit myself. Obviously these will be a bit chunkier because they're machine knitted and they're very fine, but so maybe like a long sleeve Tolster, or that's by the Cray Bear. The Cray Bear also did a ribbed basic t-shirt called the Lunan that came out this year. That's got short sleeves at the minute, but I think she's thinking about adding long sleeves to that. So something like that would be good too. I know that the Northside Knit Company, is that what it's called? They have a top, I think it's called the Cold Day top, which is a bit of a chunkier ribbed long sleeve top. So something like that is what I'm thinking, that could go like under a cardigan or under a jumper or under a dress. And it's a really nice colour. I love green. I think it's my fave. The second thing I bought is also from Laxton's. They have I've only ever been to Yarndale, I think. They have at Yarndale, they're there every year because it's really close to Skipton, you know, their mill. I think it's in Shipley. And they always have like an outlet, so they just have big baskets and they just have skeins in that are going cheap basically. I think some of it's like leftover stock or whatever, but they had some undyed yarn. These were, one of them was £3 and one of them was £5 for 100 grams. So I couldn't not. Now I made a mistake because they had this, which is merino sock, 100% merino yarn, 400 grams, 100 grams equals 400 meters, and all the sock dyeing I've done so far has been on Laxton's Corriedale base, which is a really high twist, very kind of sturdy yarn. This is high twist too, which is what will make it durable, you know, not need the nylon, but it's merino, is much softer. So I wanted to get some and knit some socks up to see like if it was as durable as the Corriedale, which seems really good so far. I was worried that with it being merino it might wear out quicker, but we will see. So I meant to buy 2 of those and 2 of these. This is basically a really solid DK. Is 100 grams is 200 meters. It's very soft. It just says 100% wool. It doesn't tell you anything about it. It was spun in Yorkshire. It says that, but I don't know where the wool came from. I think it must have a merino content. It's very soft again. Smells really nice. So I meant to get 2 of each and I didn't. I ended up getting 3 of the DK. I think it was I'd got 2 out of one basket and 2 out of the other, and I think somebody must have picked it up and put it down in the wrong place at some point and it didn't check the labels. So that's my own fault. But that's just for fun. That's just for me to do some dyeing. I've got loads of dye material kind of stashed up and saved up and no wool to dye on, so that's what I'm going to do with that. Then the next thing I bought is the only non-British yarn. It was spun in Britain and dyed in Britain, but it's I don't know where the wool is from. It's 100% blue-faced Leicester, and it's by Mamie and Florrie, who I don't know if that was the name of the ladies, but it was a mother and daughter team that were working there. Now, if you've followed me on Instagram or you've been here from the start, you will know that these are not my colours, and this yarn is not for me. This is actually for my daughter. She chose it. We go to Yarndale together. Have done. I think this is the 6th time we've been, and she wants me to knit a colourwork sweater, which, to be honest, I think is a bit advanced for somebody that's only done 2 colourwork projects, one of which was very simple and the other which is not 100% successful in terms of the quality of the colourwork. But she would really like me to knit a sweater called the I See You. I'll put a picture up and I'll put the details of the designer because I can't remember them off the top of my head. And that's like a colourwork yoke, and one of the, you know, the projects on Ravelry showed a black sweater with a spin cycle yarn, like a colour changing in all neon colours, and my daughter was just like, I want one just like that. And I had a bit of I did buy some spin cycle, but I had a bad experience. The colour was like, it looked like this, basically, this sort of level of neonness. In fact, even more so, there was no cream, basically. It was all neon, bright, 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 like highlighter yellow, highlighter pink, highlighter green. And then the skeins that came were like dark green and like a muddy purple. And I know the thing with spin cycle dyed in the wool is that the skeins are individual, they are unique, they don't all come, but there was such a vast difference. There was none of the like neon bright highlighter colour, and it was just this really muddy purple and green wool. And she just looked at it and went, why have you bought me that? I don't like that. It's like, I know, I'm sorry, I don't know why it's come out. So I found the shop that I bought it from and sent them an email. They didn't answer the phone, so I sent an email and I just said, I'm really sorry, but like I sent a picture, this is what I wanted and this is what I got, and she doesn't like it. And they were fine. They just said, yeah, it happens, it's fine, send it back. So I did. So by the time we'd gone through all of the shenanigans, we were only a week away from Yarndale. I said, let's go and have a look, you never know. And actually there was loads of variegated and colour changing yarn there, like loads and loads and loads. It's obviously really fashionable at the minute, because like virtually every stall had some. And this was a really nice store. The ladies were really lovely. And yeah, my daughter really liked those. And I think it'll stand out really well against the black. So that is a project plan for her. It's kind of, I always make them something, all the kids something for the birthday and Christmas. She's just had a birthday last week, and I promised I'd make her a hat, which I've not quite got to, but I will. And then the jumper is kind of ostensibly for Christmas, but I have told her it will not be finished by Christmas because it just won't. But she's fine with that. She's not bothered. Right, I've got 2 more things. This one, I got some Law Fibre Company Law. That's their DK. It's a very beautiful colour, really heathered. Can't see a colourway. That's what I'm looking for. It just said shade reference LOR15. Oh no, sorry, shade name Courage. Talking rubbish, Courage. And it is a lovely sort of coppery brown. I've got 5 skeins of this, and actually my husband bought this for me. Before I went, he gave me some money and said, this is your birthday money. My birthday's in December. So what happens is I go to Yarndale in September, and I buy yarn. And then at Christmas, my husband gives me some money and says, buy some yarn. And then I end up with loads of yarn. So this year we thought it would make more sense that if he gave me the money in September, I'd buy the yarn. And then now that I've shown it to you, I am going to give it back to him. He will wrap it up and I will get it in December. So this, I think, is going to become a Valley pullover, which is the Northside Knit. I can't remember the name. Northside Knits or Knit Company. Again, I'll put a picture of the sweater up and the name. But I think that's what I'm going to knit with this. I really like the look of that. I've had it in my favourites for a while on Ravelry. And I think it will wear in the same way my wider jumper wears. That red one with the sailor collar. And I just wear that all the time. And I find it really easy to wear over dresses and over jeans or trousers or whatever. I can kind of dress it up, dress it down. And I just love it. And I think that sweater has a sort of similar vibe. And I think we'll wear in a similar way. So I think that's what I'm going to knit. I say think because you know what knitters are like. Something else will come along and I'll go, oh, I'm going to knit that. So, but currently that is my plan, and I just think it's so beautiful. So I've got 5 of those and I'm running out of space to put it. Now, the last thing I got, because I did go with an intention to like buy certain things, and the one thing, sorry, I'm trying to get it out of my basket. The one thing that I really wanted to get, which again, it was on the knitting plans that I kind of made at the beginning of the year in January. I put on knitted basics, but I also wanted to knit a really big shawl. There's quite a lot of nice patterns around, and more have come out. And I just fancied like a really big, like cozy shawl that I'd probably mostly just wear around the house. Like when I was knitting or when I was reading in bed. I do have a big like rectangular one that I won in a knit along years ago that I wear quite a lot, but I just really fancied a really big traditional triangular shawl, but I wanted it with some texture on it, again just as a bit of a challenge, just trying to, you know, do something a bit harder. I don't know, lots of you might think, oh, that's not hard at all, but harder for me, something that I've not done before. And I looked at a number of patterns and they were mostly Aran, either like a worsted plus a lace or just straight up Aran. So I just decided I was going to look for some Aran yarn. I wanted it in a sort of sheepy colour, a brown colour. I didn't want it in white because I'd spill coffee on it or something and ruin it. And actually it was a bit tricky. There was not a whole lot of Aran yarn to be found, and it was made more difficult that when I looked at different patterns, you know, usually they tell you the yarn that they've knit it in and they give you the specifications of it. And so although several of them were listed as Aran, some of them said that was 153 meters per 100 grams, and others it went all the way up to 215 meters per 100 grams. So I think that gives you quite a big range to choose from. But then I thought, no, don't worry about it too much. It's a shawl. It might come out slightly bigger, or it might come out slightly smaller, right? Or you can change your needle size or whatever. So I just decided I was going to have a look. But as I said, there was not a huge amount there, and I got in a bit of a, I don't know what to do with the difference in yardages and everything. And so I almost left without buying anything, because I don't want to buy something for the sake of it, and I don't want to buy the wrong thing. And I was going to see how the law knit up, because that is 250 meters per 100 grams. So it is like a DK, but it's really squidgy. I think you could probably knit it up on a slightly bigger needle size. So I was thinking, well, if that, I could, if I've got some left over, I'll do a little swatch and see how that goes, and I might go back and get some more of that. And then as we were leaving, as we were just walking down the corridor, one of the aisles, just on a post at the side, there were just these huge hanks, and it just said 100% British wool, mixed breeds. And that's all it said. That was all the information. So I just stopped and looked at it, and the guy came over and said, oh, do you want me to tell you about it? And basically he just said it was just I think just almost like waste, which is really sad that there's loads of wool that's just going to waste. But it was just fleeces that they'd bought up. They were 100% all from Britain, but they'd just kind of been collected up. So it was different breeds of sheep, or just crossbreeds of sheep, no rare breeds or specific breeds, just a load of yarn, wool, basically fleeces that had been mixed together and spun up and just being sold off. So just instead of chucking it in the bin. And this is it. Now it looks very grey on here, but it isn't. It's more of a brown. I don't really like grey, but it is more of a browny colour. A bit like a Jacobsy colour, I guess. I've got two of them. Each one is 440 grams, and each one costs £10. So that is £20 worth of British wool that otherwise just would have gone in the bin. So I was really happy, just literally as we were leaving, and it was meant to be, because I had £20 left in my purse. That's all I had. And it's Aran weight, and it's more than enough to knit any one of the shawls that I've been looking at in. And it's not as rough and scratchy as the Let Lopey, and I've just got this on over my underwear. I don't have anything on underneath. I'm really good with scratchy wool. It doesn't really bother me. And obviously this, I guess it'll touch your neck. It's an outerwear piece, so I think actually when you block it, it'll turn really soft. So I think once I've got my cardigan, the heirloom quilt cardigan, done, and I'm knitting hats. I showed a hat last time that I gifted to my cousin, and my daughter wants a black and white one. My husband wants one exactly like my cousin's hat, and my eldest boy would like one, and he wants one of the colours to be orange. They were like, please, please, please knit us hats for Christmas. So I was like, okay. So I need to do all of that. But then the next cast on for me will be a big shawl in this yarn, and I'm very excited about it. There are quite a lot of shawl patterns, so I thought I would just show the 4 that I was most interested in. I'll put pictures up, but I think I have decided on one. So the first one was a Fibre Tales shawl. Lurker at Fibre Tales does loads of big shawls, so there was lots to choose from, but the one I really liked was the Skovbund shawl. That Skovbund is a Danish word for forest floor, and you can see the pattern has got all these sort of floral motifs around the edge, like borders. I think it's really beautiful. I think it'd be quite challenging to do, but there's only a little bit, in terms of the majority of the shawl. A lot of it is just plain knitting. I think it's really, really lovely. So that was one up there on my list. The second one was Melody Hoffman, who also does quite a lot of shawls, big shawl designs, so also known as bee mandarins. And she has a shawl called the Wildwood Shawl, with sort of pine trees on it. I think she's got jumper and socks in that same, or maybe a cowl in that same stitch pattern, but you know, I'm specifically interested in the big shawls, so that is in 2 strands of unspun, I think. So actually I think that's a slightly lighter than Aran gauge, but again, it's a shawl, it'll just turn out a tiny bit bigger, and you know, big is best in terms of a big cozy shawl. And the third one, and actually this was like, almost decided to go for this one, is the Moorland Shawl by Tanya Barley, who is also known as the Woolbarrow. I think this is really beautiful. Again, lots of nice textural like motifs, and I really like the kind of feeling of all of these. They're all quite evocative of nature, of being outside, of being in the woods, or being on the moors, or being on the hillside. And I guess particularly at this time of year in autumn, like it's a really nice kind of aesthetic and feeling. And yeah, I really liked all the imagery and the patterns themselves, but also the names were creating in my brain. Does that make sense? So I think all of these fall into the same category. The one that I'm going for, the pattern on it and the like design inspiration behind it also falls into that category, and I'm going to go it's the Wellerman by Caitlin Hunter, who is also Boylan Knitworks, known as that. And she said that the pattern is meant to evoke pine trees and a pine tree forest, and you can see that. One of the reasons I like this is because there's more of an all over pattern, so rather than just being plain with the like a border that's patterned, it's an all over pattern, but it's not, I don't think, too involved. It's not too complicated. I also really like that she has provided written instructions as well as charted instructions. I really struggle with charts. I've only tried it twice, and one of them was like really super simple intarsia, and I just couldn't do it. I must have done it and ripped it back and done it and ripped it back and done it and ripped it back, because my head could just not get around it. I just find them so, it's like everything goes blur and blurs, and I just can't keep on where I want to be. I think that might be something that I'm going to have to try and practice, but I really, really appreciate it when people give written instructions too, which she has done. It's called the Wellerman Shawl, which is not, you know, a sort of foresty, outdoorsy kind of name. She said it was inspired initially by that song. It was like a sea shanty song that was out like, I don't know, a couple of years ago. Which I think the inspiration, listening to it, my boys love it. They play it over and over again. They sing along to it. Like sometimes my 5-year-old, he's sat playing and I can just hear him singing it to himself. I don't know if it's just the beat really catches them, like the simplicity of it, or the story. The story seems very much like a Moby Dick type story. There's a boat and it's trying to catch a whale, and the whale's not, you know, letting himself be caught, and they're not cutting the line to let it go, so the other ship has to come in and provide supplies. That's the story, and I'm quite taken with that because Moby Dick is one of my very, very favourite books. I really, really love it. And so I was quite taken with that. And she said, you know, that song made her think of fishermen's jumpers and sort of texture, and then she kind of moved that over into a shawl, but she took pine forest as an inspiration for the design of the shawl. So it's like 2 different things coming together, both of which I really like. We've got opposite us on the valley here, we've got like a pine plantation, and I look at it every day. The kids call it the Wolfie Wood. So all of those things kind of went together, that when I was chatting to the kids about it, they were like, you've got to knit that one, you've got to knit that one. And so that's the one I'm going for. So watch this space. That might happen mid-November, maybe December cast on, maybe once the knit along's all done. Right, I'm going to go. I've been talking a long time. Well done if you have stayed with me to this point. Thank you very much. Again, thank you if you subscribe to the channel. Thank you if you like the videos. Thank you particularly those people that leave comments and that have joined in the CAL. You know, when I started this YouTube, it was because I really wanted to try and build a sort of sense of community, a sense of friendship across the internet, because I don't have a huge amount of friends that knit. There's the ladies that I see at knitting group, but I tend to only see them at knitting group, at my craft night, and there aren't many people in my day-to-day that I can waffle on to about knitting at length, although my daughter is slowly getting into knitting, so that is quite nice. But yeah, the reason for doing the YouTube was to like make links and connections with other people, so people that sort of join in with that and send me comments and chat about this and chat about that, or have joined in the CAL so far. I'm really grateful to you, and I really appreciate you being here, so thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely week and a lovely time until I see you again. Thanks so much. Bye.